Hi there, future do-it-yourself sewing stars. If you're tired of just endless fights with your sewing machine, tangled nightmares, and unfinished progress, this is the video for you. I'm going to go through sewing myths and limiting beliefs that might stifle your progress in becoming the creator and maker that you want to be. Imagine this, a sewing journey without all of the frustration, where you get all core skills step by step, so you can go from hopeful sewing beginner to confident sewer in just 1 week. Stay tuned because I'm going to reveal the key that can unlock your sewing potential. And spoilers, it's not a thing that you might be missing. It's actually your mindset. Let's talk about where you are right now and what is keeping you from making progress. You might have purchased already a sewing machine and maybe even pictured all of those nice projects you want to make, just to throw all of those projects into the corner because it's just not working out the way you imagined it to be and you're stuck in frustration. Or maybe you're just watching videos on YouTube, watching all of those amazing creators and think to yourself, well, I can never do that because I just don't have the talent. This is the first very wrong belief I need you to get rid of. Stat. Getting started with sewing has nothing to do with talent. I repeat that for the ones sitting in the back. Starting to sew has nothing to do with talent, okay? Setting up a sewing machine, picking out the right fabric, and making your first project is a step-by-step process that anyone can learn. You have to do it, and when you are actually doing it, you will develop skills and you will develop your own talents and creativity. This is how it goes. And I promise you, not one person just sat down for the first time in front of a sewing machine and just created something amazing right off the bat. Like, this is just not how it goes. So it's really up to you if you want to go through this process in a painful trial and error fashion that can lead you to frustration and giving up on everything and just throwing in the towel. Or if you want to learn from someone who actually did this, who will give you a clear roadmap and the points that you need to know, and also the potential pitfalls to avoid. So this is really important. So you have a much smoother journey along the way. And okay, so what I also hear a lot and told myself also a lot of times is that there's just not enough time in the day. Listen, I love scrolling through all of those social media apps as much as the next girl. So I'm very familiar with this icky feeling of emerging from a 2-hour scroll fast with a stiff neck and the terrible feeling that you just lost 2 hours of your time that you will never get back. Even if you are not addicted to social media, like, I don't know, too many people nowadays, you don't need that much time to set up a machine. It maybe takes 30 minutes the first time, but then it will take you maximum of 5 minutes to set it up. A sewing project then can be broken down into increments, so you can always work on it for a half an hour increment and still make some progress. And especially if you are sitting in front of a screen for the rest of the day, making something with your own hands can really be absolutely magical. And another big objective I hear all of the time is that sewing is so very expensive. Let me just debunk this notion real quick, because you can buy yourself the most expensive machine out there, but you really don't have to. There's great alternatives out there. Refurbished machines, secondhand machines can be even better than the newest models. And maybe if you just ask around and someone actually has a machine and you can borrow it for free or buy it for a cheaper price. So you might be surprised how many people actually have machines that they are not using. Plus, as a side note, people did wear clothing before sewing machines were invented. So if you cannot afford a sewing machine, you can afford a pack of sewing needles. That's why I also included a lesson on hand sewing in this course, so you can get started with making things with your own hands right away. So yes, buying quality fabrics can be quite expensive, but again, just thinking in the perspective here, if you get some kind of cheap polyester dress, polyester coat, and those things last you a year, a season tops before it needs replacement, and you have much more benefit from actually making something that fits you well and you make out of a quality fabric that is just looking really nice and keeps you warm and stuff. Or if you have a piece that you love and don't want to part with, also, sewing can save you time and again from having to be replaced. Knowing how to sew things actually unlocks a whole new superpower in a way, because you just see something that other people spend hundreds of euros for, and you can make it for much, much less. For example, the first practical project I chose for my mini sewing course is actually a bag inspired by a designer one that is currently being sold for 120 euros. Yeah, this is just the beginning, my friend. The possibilities are truly endless, and the only limit is your creativity and your inspiration once you have the basics of sewing down. What I have to admit though, sewing can be quite expensive if you opt for the trial and error method. Trust me, I went down that road and it wasn't pretty. I wasted so many fabrics and created things that are just not of good quality, and I never wear because yeah, I was lacking some basic skills and some basic knowledge on how fabric actually works. And yeah, the last myth I want to talk about is the sewing world is so confusing. There's just too many concepts, too many different fabrics, too many machines to pick from. Well, yes, if you ever walked into a fabric store and you see all of the different kinds of fabrics you can buy, this is quite something. While there are a lot of different types of fabrics, all you really need to know on how a fabric behaves is A, the fiber type, and B, the type of weave that the fiber is being woven into. Let's take a cotton fiber, for example. This is a very common fiber. If it's woven into a plain weave, you get like these super sturdy, easy going fabrics that are great for beginners actually. And the cotton fiber can then also be woven into a satin weave, for example, which makes it nicer and smoother and shinier. Or it can be not woven but knitted instead. And this is how you get a cotton jersey, which is stretchable by itself, although the cotton fiber doesn't have any stretch to it. There's a bit more to it, but this is basically the thing that you need to know. Same for the sewing machines. Yes, there are many machines out there, and just by endlessly scrolling all of the different information, you just give yourself analysis paralysis. And in fact, there are only a few questions you need to ask yourself to pick the right machine. And the 3 functionalities a machine really needs is straight stitch, zigzag stitch, and the ability to sew backwards. And who wasn't confused at tutorials online that just casually throw around words like bias binding, interfacing, weft thread, all of that kind of fun words? I mean, honestly, how is a beginner supposed to know what all of that means? Yes, you can sit down and Google it, like each of the words. It's just easier to have someone sit you down, take you by the hand, and just show you all of the concepts and explain to you what they mean, what they do, and then you have a good foundation to go on from that. And yeah, that's why I went and decided to make another sewing course. I really distilled down all of the important points that you need to know as a beginner to make the progress of your sewing journey as seamless, as painless as possible. And I believe only learning by doing is giving great results. So I want to give you a really, really cool first project to work on, which is a designer bag you can make with your beginner skill. I take you by the hand and I walk you through the terms and concepts of the sewing world. Then I will give you a list of the most important tools that you need to get started, and I will give you a concise introduction to the world of fabrics so you will never be confused again walking into a fabric store or shopping for fabric online. You will be much more confident in actually choosing the fabric for your project. Then I'm going to demonstrate all parts of the sewing machine. I'm going to show you 2 types of machines, an older mechanical machine and a newer one. And then we're also going to thread it step by step. And again, I'm going to show you 2 types of machines there, a front loader and a drop-in bobbin. So if you have either one of those, you are covered. And lastly, I will walk you through sewing your first seams and give you tips and tricks on how to make your seams actually straight and how to make beautiful curves. And then we will start with a designer bag as a first project, but this is just the beginning. There's a lot of webinars, masterclasses, free courses out there, which are actually just kind of fronts for you so you can buy a more expensive and more extensive course. I have a bit of a different approach. I made a great course for you, and I think the price I'm asking for is more than fair for the amount of knowledge and value you will get out of this. It is a one-time payment, lifetime access kind of thing, and I'm not going to just badger you with actually signing up for something else after that. This price is a limited offer though, and I'm not just saying that to pressure you into buying this course right right now, but because I have already more lessons and more projects that I'm going to add up onto this course. For example, I'm working on another pattern for the next project, which is going to be a kimono jacket. And of course, if I put all of this extra stuff into the course, I have to increase the price eventually. But you can just lock in now this pre-launch price that I'm offering, and you will get all future content and all of the future projects and lessons without any extra payment. So you'll get the additional lessons and projects, but the price is going to stay the same, which is this one-time price we'll pay right now, and then you will get the additional stuff later. So if you want to progress in your sewing journey, I would suggest you invest a small amount into yourself, into your skill set, and watch your creativity and confidence soar. That's it from me. I hope to see you inside the course, and I wish you a beautiful day, and yeah, see you soon.